Hi, welcome back to Just an Everyday Fan. So as y'all know, I am reading my book on her game. And this is by Christine Brennan regarding Caitlin Clark. It's a biography. And I'm taking my time reading this. I could have finished this in one night if I wanted to, but I'm not. I'm purposely taking my time because I'm thinking about each and every chapter that I go through and what's said. And I kind of put myself in Caitlin's position. So imagine, and I want you to do this, imagine you're 8 years old and you have a love for basketball. You're good at basketball. You're good at soccer. You're good at golf. You're good at anything that you touch. You're golden. But you're so good at basketball that you're playing on a boys' team. You're playing with the boys because there are no girls. And if there certainly were girls, they would not be to your caliber. So think about it. 8 years old, you're doing this. What does that kind of tell you? What does it tell you about Caitlin Clark and where she came from? What does it tell you? And I want to kind of dive into maybe the psychological, mental aspect of all of this because I think it's fascinating. So you're this little girl that has this infinity to play ball the way you're playing. When you get into junior high, you're playing above your level. When you're getting into high school, you're playing above your level. Now, in high school, and Brennan actually talks about this in the book. She said, on page 28, she said, Kristen Meyer, Clark's high school coach at Dowling Catholic, also spent a fair share of time working with Clark on her on-court demeanor. I would probably say on average 2 times a game I would have to sub her out for her body type things, meaning body language. So she was displaying maybe something that wasn't so great, right? That we would not deem that acceptable. Maybe now we would, but then we wouldn't. So Caitlin Clark starts developing an attitude, if you will. And I don't know Caitlin, but just go with me on this. So she starts developing this attitude because she's one of the best players around. She's getting a lot of attention from a lot of different people, from a lot of different important people. She hasn't even made it to college yet, and they're scouting her. They see her ability, they see her uniqueness. So does Caitlin Clark have an ego problem? Yeah, I would say she probably does. Is it justified? Yeah, I think it is. I absolutely do think it is. Think about when you go through day to day and you're in a routine and you just go through and you just do it because it's a habit, because you start becoming that habit, right? So this is no different for Caitlin Clark. She has been an exceptional student, an exceptional basketball player since she could basically walk. She's always been different. She's been unique. While the other girls were playing with dolls, Caitlin was playing with basketballs, and she was playing with the boys. While other girls were doing something else, Caitlin was on the basketball court. She was shooting three-pointers. She was practicing her shots, her layups, everything. So look at how this transpires. And I think there's a lot of people that point at Caitlin Clark and go, oh, well, you know, she thinks she's so great, and she thinks that she's the only face, and she thinks that she's a generational player, and she's the next GOAT. And it's not Caitlin's fault. She was told this. She was shown this. All of this stuff happened. She was one of the first ones in college to get paid for the NIL contracts. So before she even made it out of college, she was a millionaire. A millionaire for doing the thing that she loved to do the most. The thing that she was the best at doing. She had coaches scouting her. She had teams scouting her. She had multiple offers for college, yet she chose to go to Iowa. Now, Iowa, from what I understand, they did not have a great team. It wasn't a great team. They hadn't had any, it wasn't like UConn. UConn was one of the best teams, right? And South Carolina. There were teams out there that if you were a serious basketball player and you wanted to be the best of the best, that's where you were. You were with Gino or you were in South Carolina. So here we go. We have this little Midwestern girl. She chooses to go to Iowa in her backyard so she can stay close to home instead of going to Notre Dame, instead of going to UConn. Although UConn, Gino did not want anything to do with her. He was 100% Paige Beckers. So did Caitlin have a bad rap at this point on her image? Possibly. Was she considered a brat? Maybe. Did she think the world revolved around her? Probably. Because her whole life, that's what she had been shown and been told. You're unique, you're great, you're an upcoming star, you're there, you're going to be a generational talent. There's no one that can play like you. You don't play like any of the other women, you play like men. Men were noticing her. The WNBA players were noticing her. She was selling out crowds in college. I saw where she sold out. One was, they moved to a football stadium of all places, and she packed 55,000 fans. No other woman did this. No other college female athlete did this. This was someone who was just doing what she loved to do, yet as she came up and as she started into her own, being an adult, doing everything she wanted to do, as her dreams were coming true. By the time she got out of college, she was already a millionaire. She was the #1 draft pick in the WNBA for 2024. And the WNBA has benefited off her 2024 #1 draft pick. People are watching the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark that didn't watch it before. Someone like me. I didn't see Caitlin Clark her first year out. I found her this year. So I knew about her last year, and I was waiting for the 2025 season to start. Now, there's some people that want to say, oh, Caitlin, it's not all about you. Well, yeah, it kind of is. Because Caitlin is the driving force right now. whether she wants to be or not. Can you imagine the psychological warfare one would have to battle with themselves every day to be an icon, to be the best of the best, to be the weight, to carry the weight of the WNBA on your shoulders, to carry the weight of all the players and the expectations on your shoulders every time you went out onto the floor, onto the court. Each time you did, each time you got the ball, each time you were targeted by all of the team members, the hatred that started flying on social media, the players started being divided. The more fans love Caitlin Clark, it seemed like the more professional players were jealous and hated Caitlin Clark. So there was a lot of shade, there was a lot of animosity, and there's a lot of friction. And it's still to this day, even on her own team. Right now, you have a girl who was never hurt, never missed a game in her entire collegiate career, was not injury prone at all. She steps into the WNBA her second year, and she's on her third injury. She's been out more than she's been in. She is hearing all kinds of things going around. She has a coach, in my opinion, that does not support her, that does not like her, that does not really wish for her to be on the team. She has an organization that does not back her and is not there for her. They are only using her. But that's where she wants to be because, again, Caitlin's she seems like a simple girl. Complex, but simple, right? Young lady. She doesn't want to go far away from home. She doesn't want to live away from her family. Go to the West Coast or the Far East Coast. It's not her ideal situation. But now we have a team that was supposed to be hers, that was supposed to be built around Caitlin Clark, and now we have a team that has ostracized and isolated Caitlin during this injury time. And Caitlin must go to bed every night thinking, what could I have done differently? Am I losing it? Am I going crazy? Is it me? Why is everyone treating me like this? And hearing things like, it's not all about you, Caitlin. This would be a difficult place to be in. Caitlin realizes she's the face of the WNBA right now. She realizes she can't come out. She can't make a comment. She has to be very choice with her words and how she expresses, and field questions from reporters and interviewers, media personalities. I think she's been masterful. Now, is Caitlin probably a little naive? You betcha. Is she probably a little egotistical? Absolutely. Tell me what athlete that's on the top of their game is not egotistical. You can't have an athlete in a competitive nature. They're not going to survive if they're not egotistical. Now, where do we go from here? Because Caitlin is sitting out. She's watching her team being taken from her. She doesn't look happy. For a while there, it looked like no one on the team was supporting her just a few weeks ago. And now, all of a sudden, she's starting to get talk to again. She's starting to have people sit by her again. She's starting to, it was like she was just this, don't touch Caitlin, don't sit by Caitlin, don't be with Caitlin, it's not about Caitlin. And then you have multiple people that would like her job. But Caitlin can't say anything. She can't come out. She can't talk. She can only be Caitlin. So think about the psychological torture that would be. And I have heard that they have actually gotten psychologists involved. Now, I don't know if this is a thing that they do on all teams. I'm not sure. But when you're told from a very young age, you're the best, you're the greatest, you're going to be it, you're going to blow all, and then you come through and you start blowing open record after record after record after record, how can you not see yourself as the best? But Caitlin is just, she just wants to play ball. I don't know that she particularly enjoys the politics. She wants to hoop. She's there for her fans. When everyone else has shut her out and the media personalities have turned against her and the social media and the fans have turned against her, she's there. She's standing there signing autographs. It's all about the kids. Trying to give kids a role model, trying to do the best she can do to inspire them to be the best that they can be. Because somewhere along the line, there were those people that did this for Caitlin Clark. So Caitlin's giving back, but she's giving back quietly. She's giving back silently. She's taking not only physical abuse, she's taking psychological abuse. She's taking mental abuse from many different directions. So how would you think about if you were to go to a job that you hated, maybe a job you loved. Let's say a job you loved every day. You love that job. You would do it for free if you could, but you just didn't like the people. Because they tore you down, they told you weren't good enough, you could do nothing right, you were getting written up for stuff that wasn't your fault, right? How would you feel? Getting up every morning knowing you had to go back to that job. But Caitlin does it every single day. And she goes back and she's injured and she has to just sit there. And she has to sit there and watch a game that's torture, I'm sure, because she cannot be out there playing, making the plays, making the points, helping her team, getting the crowd involved, being there for her fans. So this is what I think about while I'm on one side. I find it empowering. On the other side, I find it very deflating to know that Caitlin is going through what she's going through pretty much by herself, without the support of the people she relies on the most, other than her family. So as always, thank you for supporting the channel. Please hit subscribe and let me know your thoughts. Until next time.